It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers against the New York Mets. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday to you. A very happy, healthy, and safe July 4th holiday for you from all of us here at Dodger Stadium, where they'll break the seal on a 4-game series against the New York Mets. Tonight, left-hander Chris Capuano for New York with a record of 7-7. Ruby De La Rosa, the hard-throwing right-hander, 3-3 for the Dodgers. The Dodgers made a personnel move today. You knew something was going to give when Rafael Furcal came back, but then when Casey Blake went on the DL, they thought, well, maybe D. Gordon's going to be here for a while, but nope. Gordon has been sent down. The Dodgers have brought up veteran Eugenio Velez to play the infield and the outfield as well. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this. Your baseball on Prime Ticket is brought to you by Hyundai. People are talking about Hyundai Uncensored. See what they're saying at mysocalhyundai.com. By 76 Gasoline. We're on the driver's side. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by AT&T.
Well, now that interleague play is over, Dodgers get back to the senior circuit, the first of 4, taking on the New York Mets. So Steve Lyons and Patrick O'Neill, a couple of Dodger All-Stars named yesterday, Clayton Kershaw and Matt Kemp. Well-deserved for both of these guys. You can still vote Andre Ethier in the final vote. As far as Matt Kemp is concerned, Steve, kind of want to get him going before this game.
Yeah, crazy numbers he's had, but I'll tell you what, he's starting to fall a little bit. 2 for his last 19. He needs to get it going in this series, headed into that All-Star break, and prove to the world what he's proved to the National League so far this season. 3rd in average at .322, 22 home runs, and 64 RBIs.
Now, the fans voted Matt Kemp in, but we still need your help to get Andre Ethier in. The final vote. Go to Dodgers.com or MLB.com. You can also text him in. Voting ends Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. He's from Arizona. He deserves to be there.
Absolutely. Good numbers, too.
Yeah, fourth in the NL in batting average. All right, Vin has the game for you next on Prime Ticket.
Very happy 4th of July. Welcome to Dodger Stadium. We've already had a marvelous opening. The giant flag carried out by members of the United States Marine Corps. We have celebrated and saluted several of our heroes returning from Afghanistan. We've had the first ball ceremonial throw, and now we're about ready to settle back to America's pastime, baseball. And with the Dodgers and the Mets, it's a coast-to-coast show. A beautiful evening at about 9 minutes after 6. And as the Dodgers settle in to get ready, it is a sellout. I realize it's a little late to tell you. We have gotten the news just a few minutes ago, so we apologize for any inconvenience, but it is sold out. So if you're in your car right now driving somewhere on a freeway thinking maybe you'll drop by and catch a few innings, not tonight, Josephine. However, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the Mets will be here as well. In fact, in talking about Terry Collins, who formerly was a valuable member of the Dodger organization, he comes here at the helm for New York, and here's his lineup. It's Angel Pagan in center field, Justin Turner at second base, Carlos Beltran in right field, Daniel Murphy at third, Jason Day in left field, Lucas Duda at first base, Ronnie Paulino, the veteran catcher, Ruben Tejada at short, and left-hander Chris Capuano on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, that would be young Ruby De La Rosa with a record of 3-3. Started off 3-0, and since then has lost to Houston, the Angels, and to Minnesota. The Minnesota defeat was a particularly tough one. He lost that game 1-0. So Ruby De La Rosa ready to pitch to Angel Pagan. Angel. The Dodgers have had enough of Angel, so we go with Angel. He's from Puerto Rico, and he is the rarest of the rare. And the fastball in for a strike, and we're underway. Angel Pagan is the first and only major league player to hit 2 home runs in the same game on his birthday. How about that for a note? He takes the next one low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Temperature here and around Dodger Stadium, 79 degrees and a light breeze blowing out towards right field. Pagan waiting in the 1-1 pitch, a line drive right at Aaron Miles in time for the out. By the way, we should also point out the caps that are being worn tonight. Major League Baseball clubs are wearing stars and stripes caps. The caps have the American flag, gets into the team's logo. They're off-white in color. The Dodgers using the blue brim, and for visiting teams they normally play the red or vice versa. However, tonight both teams are wearing the blue. So into the windup now goes De La Rosa. There's a hopper to third, hit by Justin Turner, thrown out by Uribe, and quickly 2 down, and will set the Dodgers defensively. They stack up this way with Gwynn, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. Uribe, Furcal, Miles, and Loney on the infield. Behind the plate, A.J. Ellis on the mound, Ruby De La Rosa. 2 out, first inning. This is a very interesting first inning. If you like a little statistics, the All-Star Carlos Beltran checks in and takes ball 1. The Mets have scored a lot of runs in the first inning, 51. However, the Dodgers are the toughest team to score on in the first inning. Beltran way out in front of an off-speed pitch, and the count 1-1. So for De La Rosa, he's gotten 2 outs in the first inning, and Beltran waiting. Carlos, 12 home runs, 54 runs batted in, swings, doesn't get it, and the count 1-2. So again, we repeat early. If you do not have a ticket and you're on the way to the ballpark, we apologize, but it is a sellout. The 1-2 pitch on the way, low and inside, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Giants lost. The Padres beat him today 5-3. Clayton Richard beat Tim Lincecum. Lincecum is now 6-7, under 500. Wow. And Beltran swings and misses. Down he goes. Down go the Mets. So the Dodgers stubbornly resist giving up a run in the first inning, and at the end of half an inning, no score. In the first inning. Now let's take a look at the Dodger lineup. It's filled out by Don Mattingly. Tony Gwynn leads off in left field, and Rafael Furcal at short. Andre Ethier in right. Matt Kemp in center field. Juan Uribe at third. Aaron Miles at second. James Loney hits 7th against the left-hander. A.J. Ellis behind the plate, and Ruby De La Rosa on the mound. On the mound for the Mets, Chris Capuano. Born in Springfield, Massachusetts, grew up rooting for the Boston Red Sox, had a huge picture of Roger Clemens hanging on his bedroom wall. From Springfield, Massachusetts, he went to Duke University in North Carolina, and that's where he was drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's 6'2", 220, and has had Tommy John surgery. Couple of things to keep in mind about Capuano. First of all, for him to be successful, he pretty much has to pitch ahead in the count. More strikes than balls. You could say that for most, but especially for Chris. Fastball in for a strike, and the count 0-1 to Tony Gwynn. He is not a pitcher who will complete a game for you too often. He's struggled after 6 innings so far this year. He is 7-7. The strike one pitch on the way. A drag bunt up along first. Picked up there by Duda, who makes the tag and got him. So Gwynn trying to avoid Duda, but Lucas pinned him. And just like Gwynn, out on the drag bunt. The one away, and Rafael Furcal coming up. Here's Gwynn trying to get out of the way, and apparently the tag was made the first time, and then Duda went after him a second. And there's the second tag before he got the right foot on the bag. So here's Rafael Furcal hitting .214, batting right-handed, and he looks at a strike, 0-1. The Dodgers are 11-10 against left-hand starters. They are 6-4 against lefties here at Dodger Stadium. Strike one pitch very high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rafael Furcal. We'll repeat the announcement we made earlier. Now that Furcal is here, you expected the Dodgers to make another move. Rafael holds up on a swing as called by Todd Tishner, the first base umpire, and the count 1-2. Casey Blake went on the DL, and then the Dodgers decided with Rafael back, they didn't want D. Gordon sitting around. So Gordon went back to Albuquerque, and a veteran, Eugenio Velez, has been called up. You may remember he played with the Giants. Furcal takes on the inside corner, and down he goes. Eugenio Velez wearing the Dodger uniform, draped on the railing. He was hitting .339 while playing in Albuquerque. Last year he played 29 games with the Giants. So we have 2 out here in the first inning, and Andre Ethier coming up. There are 4 All-Stars in uniform tonight. Carlos Beltran and Jose Reyes for the Mets. And for the Dodgers, you know, Matt Kemp and Clayton Kershaw. A big roundhouse curveball in for a strike. Andre Ethier might join his Mets if he gets enough votes. And he needs the votes between now and Thursday, when 1 of 5 will be selected to go on the All-Star team. Andre fouling off a pitch, and the count 0-2. If you want to vote for Andre, go to Dodgers.com and cast your 2011 All-Star Game final vote. Ends 4 p.m. Thursday. Andre hitting .321, 7 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Capuano into the windup. Back he comes with a fastball fouled off, and it's still 0-2. For Andre Ethier, struggling against left-handers, hitting .244, making up for it by hitting .353 against right-handers. Capuano has been burned by the home run ball on the road, not at home. At home at City Park in New York, he's only given up 3 home runs. On the road, he has given up 10. Big fella, 6'2", 220. He'll be 33 in August. Comes with a sidearm delivery, and it's fouled away. Fastball coming up by way of first base. So for Andre Ethier on that pitch, no jelly leg. He hung in there as Capuano dropped the arm angle. Not exactly sidearm, but he was leaning more towards first base to try and start the pitch at the left-hand batter. The strike 2 pitch on the way. Fast sinker swung on and missed out of the dirt. The play to first, and that'll do it for Ethier. So for Furcal and Ethier strike out, the Dodgers go 1-2-3, and at the end of an inning, no score. Second inning, no score in the ball game. Some interesting headgear here, red, white, and blue with stripes and stars. As we go to the second inning, no score. And the fastball from De La Rosa outside, 1 ball and no strikes to Daniel Murphy, who was picked up by the Mets out of the University of Jacksonville, and he's a pretty patient hitter. He has a look at a strike, and the count 1-1. Daniel Murphy, going back to Memorial Day, has been blazing hot. Since that time, he's hit .360. Chopper up the middle to his left goes for call to throw him out. So Murphy taps to short. 1 away in the second inning, no score. A couple of things have already held up. First of all, the Dodgers are number 1 in not giving up runs in the first inning, and the Mets went out in order 1-2-3. And then Chris Capuano lived up to his reputation. He has not allowed a run in the first inning all year. So in the second, with 1 away, here is Jason Bay, and Jason takes a strike, 0-1. I think the last time we saw Jason Bay at Dodger Stadium, you may remember, he crashed into the bullpen gate in left field, had to leave the game, and didn't play for a while with headaches. He hits a ground ball to Furcal, who kind of winds up and nails him. And just like that, 2 ground balls to Rafael. We have 2 out, and the batter now will be Lucas Duda. That's D-U-D-A. And Lucas, the first baseman, checking in. Big left-hand batter. Duda, even though he is an infielder, a first baseman, he had Tommy John surgery when he was in high school. And he went to USC as a look at a pitch low, ball 1. In fact, he accepted a scholarship at Southern Cal and spent 3 years there. He's 6'4", 240, 25 years old. And the 1-0 pitch of the big left-hand hitter outside, ball 2. Signed in 07, and it didn't take him long, 3 years, and he was up last year with the Mets. He was also last year's Mets Organizational Player of the Year. 2-0 pitch is fouled down the left field line. When he was playing in Buffalo last year, he had 10 home runs, but what made it really interesting, he had home runs in 5 straight games. The 2-1 pitch on the way, Duda drives one into left center. Kemp moving to his right to backhand it on the run. And the Mets go quickly 1-2-3. So that means De La Rosa has retired 6 in a row, and at the end of an inning and a half, no score. Dodger All-Star, Matt Kemp. Not only an All-Star, but the starting All-Star player for the National League in the outfield. So Matt checking in against Chris Capuano. Kemp 2 for 5 in the past against the left-hander as he checks in. And for Matt, thrilled to his toes, the fact that it was his first selection to the All-Star game. Capuano, both feet on the rubber, looks down to get a sign from Paulino. And the left-hander ready, and here he comes. And the first pitch is whacked into the gap in left center. And that's going to be off the base of the wall. Kemp breezing into second base with a long double to left center field. So Matt Kemp hits the base of the left center field wall for the double. A light breeze blowing from left to right, but it didn't affect the flight of the ball. So Matt with a double, and for Kemp, that would be his 18th double. I mean, he now has 18 doubles, 2 triples, and I'm sure the world knows he has 22 home runs. So with Kemp at second base, you have Uribe, Miles, and Loney in that order. So it is a well-rested Juan Uribe who checks in at the plate, trying to pick up or at least advance Kemp. Capuano deals, ground ball to the right side. Nice bit of hitting. He gets his man over. And we have one out with Matt Kemp at third base.
The Dodgers second baseman, number 6.
So Aaron Miles, the red-hot Aaron Miles, coming up to the plate and against a left-hander. And for the Dodgers, that has been a very, very happy circumstance because Miles has been absolutely brilliant, and especially against left-hand pitching. Miles is hitting .457 against left-handers. He had .419 in June, and in his last 21 games, 3 weeks, hitting better than .460. So all of a sudden, he has his average up to .324. The infield is up as Kemp walks down the line from third. Capuano ready and delivers. Miles swings, doesn't get it, and the count 0-1. Capuano may have the best kickoff move in the National League, although we're not talking about that with a runner at third. But the Dodgers are well aware he has a great kickoff move. He also brings fastball, slider, and a changeup. Changeup, they say, best pitch, and he's been working on a cutter. He comes back away, and that's lunged at and missed, and the count 0-2, and that was that change at 77. So Capuano, whom we mentioned, is much better when he's ahead in the count. Up there now with a no ball, 2-strike count. Capuano might be 7-7, but he's had 3 tough losses where he could easily have won. So Kemp down the line from third. Capuano set at the belt. The left-hander ready, and his strike 2 pitch swung on and missed. So he took very, very quick care of Aaron Miles, who had somewhat of a respectful look back at him after he struck out. 3 strikeouts for Capuano. James Loney coming up. Don't forget Thursday, Andre Ethier bobblehead night at Dodger Stadium, presented by San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Dodgers and Mets at 7:10, and you can walk off with your own mini Andre in a 40s throwback uniform. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS. So with 2 out, Loney trying to pick him up as Kemp walks down the line, and the pitch to James swung on and foul back. Loney against left-hand pitching is batting .179. So the Dodgers have a left-hander who's hitting .278 and has done very well, especially of late, hitting over .300 against right-handers. Kemp, remember, carries a lot down there, 22 stolen bases, but you wouldn't expect him to try any tricks with a left-hand hitter up there. 0-1. The pitch to Loney is swung on and fisted foul off to the left out of play. Count 0-2. One other thing, and we always do it. Capuano, with a runner at third, has 1 wild pitch. So Matt Kemp doubled on the first pitch, opening up the second inning. 2 outs later, he's at third, and here's Loney No score, bottom of the second inning. Dodgers have had a dreadful time, as you probably know, with runners in scoring position. Here's the strike 2 pitch to Loney. Capuano watching Kemp and backs off the rubber. The last 4 games, the Dodgers are hitting .088 with runners in scoring position. And of course, Kemp opened with a double, so they're promptly 0 for 2 tonight. Capuano a long look in. Too long for Loney, and he backs out of the box. Dodgers, remember, had that 15-run game in Minnesota. They've scored 11 runs in their last 5 games since. And Loney's going to hit one into left center, base hit, and the run comes in. So on a no-ball, 2-strike count, Capuano gives up a big base hit. We were saying weeks ago about the fact it seems to me I've seen more no-ball, 2-strike base hits this year than in any year I can remember. I don't know whether pitchers are so impressed with themselves 0-2 that they go for a strikeout, but this has been the year. Never before. So 0-2, Loney singles to left, and the Dodgers take the lead 1-0. And the batter now, number 8 in the lineup, A.J. Ellis. Capuano decides to go over to first. Loney back on the bag. He's 2 for 2 in stolen bases. So a double and a 2-out single. And by the way, talking about base hits 0-2, it would apply to the Mets. Capuano ready and delivers. Ellis takes a strike. In their game with the Yankees, they were down by a run, bottom of the 9th inning, 2 out, and an 0-2 count on the hitter. And the great Mariano Rivera was the pitcher. And they scratched for a run, and in the 10th inning did the same thing with 2 strikes on the hitter. Throw to first, Loney back on the bag. Bottom of the second inning, Dodgers 1, Mets nothing. Both teams using a lot of players this year. Dodgers have used 42, and the Mets have used 39. Capuano at the belt, comes back to the plate, low and inside, pushed around a little bit by Paulino, but he kept the play in front of him, and holding at first is Loney. Dodgers and Mets. Second inning, 1-0 Dodgers, sellout crowd, and of course a great fireworks show following the game. A.J., right-hand hitter, batting .235. Here comes Capuano with a fastball high and a 2-ball, 1-strike count. A.J. Ellis caught one of the Angel games, handling De La Rosa. Dodgers hoping he might have a series like he had last year in Colorado when he went 7 for 8. The 2-1 pitch coming up to the right-hand hitting catcher is way off the plate. Ball 3. On deck, Ruby De La Rosa. So just when you thought Capuano was going to escape, he had given up the double. Uribe grounded out. Miles struck out on 3 pitches, and he was 0-2 on Loney. Boom, up jumped the Devil. A strike 2 base hit. A little foul ball off to the left, and the count now 3-2. Figures, of course, if you're hitting in the lineup in the 8th spot, you have the pitcher following with 2 out, and the count goes to 3-1. Chances are very good that they're going to let you swing away, and he did, fouled it off, and the count 3-2. Capuano again out of his stretch. Now the left-hander delivers, runner going, the hopper through into left center. Stopping at second is Loney. So A.J. Ellis on a 3-2 pitch singles to center, and the Dodgers leading 1-0 have runners at first and second with 2 out, and Ruby De La Rosa coming up. So it's a 3-hit inning, and now De La Rosa. Ruby has had 6 at bats, and would you believe 3 hits? That's right. 3 singles. He also has bunted successfully. So right-hand batter, 2 on, 2 out. Capuano looked back at second at Loney. Now to the plate, fastball in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. We mentioned Capuano has been a tough loser, losing 3 games where he pitched at least 6 innings and allowed 3 earned runs or less and still took the loss. Chris out of his stretch. Strike 1 pitch on the way. De La Rosa sprays it foul into the crowd down the right field line. 0-2. The big year for Chris Capuano, that would be 2005. He was with the Brewers and he won 18 games that year. He's never come close. Next year 11, then 5. Then he had the Tommy John surgery and he's fighting his way back, and he's 7-7. Chris out of his stretch. A look at the runners. Strike 2 pitch, fastball punched wide at first. Big Duda picks it up, takes it to the bag, and that's that. So the Dodgers on an 0-2 base hit by James Loney cash in Matt Kemp, who doubled, and at the end of 2, 1-0 Dodgers. Now for only $5, get one of our 5 tasty combos. They're the combos other combos wish they could be. Catch them before they're gone. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Time Warner Cable. Dodgers leading 1-0 as we go to the 3rd inning on this July 4th day. It'll be Ronnie Paulino, Ruben Tejada, and Chris Capuano. Ronnie Paulino's been around a while. He first came up to the Pirates about 6-7 years ago from the Dominican Republic. Right-hand batter, takes low, ball 1. Ronnie was originally drafted by the Pirates. His best year with the Pirates 4 years ago, he had 11 home runs, 55 runs batted in. He breaks his bat, hits a couple of hoppers to Aaron Miles for an easy out. So Paulino breaks the bat, 1 away. De La Rosa has retired 7 in a row, and now Ruben Tejada coming up.
Number 11, Ruben Tejada.
Ruben Tejada is from Panama. He signed by the Mets about 5 years ago. One of the things they like about him, he doesn't strike out very much. He's very much of a contact hitter. 2 years ago, he represented Panama in the World Baseball Classic. An even 6, about 165 pounds, hitting .263 and takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Tejada can play second or short. Playing tonight in place of the great Jose Reyes. Pitch fouled away. Jose Reyes, talking right now while draped on the railing, has been selected to the All-Star team for the 4th time, and he did it in a rush. He got over 1 million more votes than Colorado's Troy Tulowitzki. He has a strained hamstring. Terry Collins said he might be able to play tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. What has Reyes done? Well, he's leading the major leagues at .354 batting average, 124 hits. He's at 43 multi-hit games, 15 triples. I mean, he's just a remarkable kid, and we hope he can play tomorrow. Fun to watch. The next pitch is lifted into shallow right center. Ethier coming out of the bright sunlight to make the catch. And we have 2 down in the 3rd inning. And the batter will be Chris Capuano. A reminder, $1 Dodger dogs are back. Join us for every Saturday home game in July, beginning this Saturday at 1:10. Enjoy Dodger dogs for just $1 each. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions or call 866-DODGERS today. 2 out, Capuano takes ball 1. Boy, and talking about Dodger dogs, this is the annual, what do you call it, an eat-off tournament? The woman won it. She ate 42 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed 1 and 2. The man won the hot dog eating contest. I believe he had either 62 or 63 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes. I think his name is Joey Chestnut. Sounds like somebody out of Damon Runyon. Can you imagine? They tell me the secret, as some people are just leisurely eating a hot dog, they say they soak the bun. Foul ball, still 2 and 2. So in other words, they have to eat the hot dog, but when it comes to the bun, it's already soft and you can almost swallow it. Maybe. Look at some man coming down the aisle carrying a boatload of hot dogs. 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed. The out will have to be recorded at first. That will do it for Capuano. But what it does for Ruby De La Rosa, he has retired 9 in a row. And at the end of 3, no score. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. On this July 4th, Brian Hagan, who does such a great job for us up in the booth, was telling us he was doing a New York Times crossword puzzle, and he came across an interesting note, and we thought you might enjoy a fact about the signing of the Declaration of Independence. There were 56 signees, but 2 of them, 2 of the great Americans of all time, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. And what is really interesting when you realize that they signed the Declaration of Independence, the reason why we celebrate today. Gwynn takes a strike. Both Thomas Jefferson and John Adams died on the same day, the same year, and it happened to be July 4. Tony Gwynn takes off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. So maybe that'll impress you. It certainly did me. Jefferson and Adams dying on the 4th of July, 1826, 50 years after they had signed the document. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball, hopper over the mound. Tough play for second baseman Turner, but he makes it on a speedy Tony Gwynn. 1 away. That'll bring up Rafael Furcal. Furcal struck out in the first inning, 0 for 1. A couple of scores we can tell you: the D-backs beat the Brewers 8-6, and the Braves beat the Rockies. So it means the Giants lost. The Braves are leading the Rockies. Correct me, they're in the 8th inning in that game. Anyway, the Giants lost. Arizona wins, so they're 2 back of San Francisco as Furcal swings and misses. A note on that Rockies game, and we were just talking about Troy Tulowitzki. He hurt his right thigh running out a double play grounder in Atlanta tonight. That's foul back by Furcal. So here are the 2 all-star shortstops in the National League. Jose Reyes has a tight hamstring, and Tulowitzki did something to his right thigh. Not a good way to go into the all-star game. The strike 2 pitch is down and away, 1-2. Interesting about the surprising Diamondbacks, they were trailing Sean Markham 6-1 as Furcal takes a pitch low. But the Brewers pitcher had hit a grand slam, and then the Diamondbacks scored a run in every inning from the 4th through the 9th and wound up winning it. 2-2 pitch on the way, and Furcal, ground ball to the hole, backhanded by Short. The long throw in time. Nice play by Ruben Tejada. That would make Jose Reyes happy to go into the hole, backhand, and nail someone who runs well like Furcal. So with 2 down here in the 3rd inning, the batter will be Andre Ethier. Ethier struck out in the 1st inning. Good play by Tejada. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers, nothing across for the Mets, and the first pitch swung on and missed. Good change. 0-1. Ethier way out in front of it. Andre hitting .320. Capuano into the windup. His strike 1 pitch. Fastball in on the hands. 0-2. So Ethier in the hole. Remember, we mentioned how better Capuano pitches when he's ahead of the count, and yet he got burned today, 0-2, as Ethier fouls it off. Remember, with a runner at 3rd and 2 out, he had an 0-2 count on James Loney and surrendered the base hit that drove in the run. Chris Capuano out of Springfield, Massachusetts, lives in Scottsdale. And the next pitch to Loney to Ethier fouled away. Don't forget, if you want to vote for Andre Ethier to make the All-Star squad, go to Dodgers.com and cast your vote. One of the 5, Ian Kennedy, Todd Helton, Michael Morse, Shane Victorino, or Andre Ethier. One of them will be going to Phoenix, and since he is from Phoenix, you can imagine Andre Ethier would give anything to go back to his hometown to play in the All-Star game. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Andre. Capuano ready. Left-hander comes back. It's a ground ball to first. Duda on way with it. And that'll be that. The Dodgers go 1-2-3. And at the end of 3, it's the Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits, and the Mets nothing. Big Chicken Sandwich Combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Visit us today and trade up to Ford. 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers, and the first pitch hit down the line by Angel Pagan, caught just inside the line by Tony Gwynn. One pitch, one away, and that's 10 in a row now retired by Ruby De La Rosa. So Pagan, first ball swinging. Now Justin Turner, the second baseman, who grounded out in the first inning. In looking at the Mets and how they have played, they're a 500 ball club. They're 42-42. The Dodgers are 11 games under 500. The Mets don't hit many home runs, but they are 6th in the majors in batting average. One reason, of course, is Jose Reyes. 0-2 the count. No balls and 2 strikes. And Turner isn't around very long. Down he goes. 98-mile-an-hour pitch takes care of him. For De La Rosa, that would be his 3rd strikeout. He's retired 11 in a row. And the batter now, Carlos Beltran, who is an all-star for the 6th time in his wonderful career. Ball 1. Beltran has been a solid fixture for New York, playing right field. Fouls that off. Carlos is from Puerto Rico. He's been especially good with runners on base. With the bases empty, he's hitting in the 240s. With runners on, he's hitting 312. He has 3 home runs of his 12 with the bases empty, 9 with runners on. 2 balls and 1 strike. Just off the plate, ball 3. Beltran, 34 years old, and he becomes the first Mets base runner with a 2-out walk. And that will bring up Daniel Murphy. Beltran at first base doesn't do a lot of base running or stealing, but he is 3 for 3. So here's Murphy, who grounded to short, 0 for 1. And ball 1. Murphy was the Atlantic Sun Conference Player of the Year a few years ago while playing for Jacksonville. And Mets Vice President Tony Bernazard happened to be in the stand watching his son Anthony play for the Dolphins in the same infield with Dan Murphy. And Bernazard, the vice president, decided Murphy was the player, not his son. And so he signed with the Mets back in 2006. That happens so often, where a baseball scout official will go to see one player and fall in love with another one. Murphy does something that he remembered Carlos Delgado did. That is, he got a pad and he has it with him and makes a note after every at bat. What happened was he was in a minor league camp and he saw a film of Delgado hitting a home run of somebody. And then Delgado went to the dugout, went right to the notebook and began to write down about his at bat. And he thought, hey, that's a heck of an idea. And he hits one towards Miles. And that'll be that. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left. And at the end of 3.5 innings, Dodgers 1, Mets nothing. the Dodgers all-star center fielder, and he'll be followed by Uribe and Miles. Talking about the All-Stars, this is the way they would shake up if they're all healthy, with Fielder, Weeks, Reyes, and Placido Polanco. Brian Braun in left field is not going to enter the home run hitting contest. He hurt himself yesterday, so he becomes questionable. Matt Kemp, Lance Berkman are certainly in there, and Brian McCann from Atlanta behind the plate. If you look at the players who are going to Phoenix for the All-Star game, if you look closely, you can spot the stars on the back of the shoulders of the uniform shirt. And Matt wears 2 stars, 1 on each side. So would Kershaw, so would Beltran, so would Reyes. By the way, Capuano has been doing very well getting the first pitch for a strike. He was 12 for 12 getting the first pitch, but then tried to get it by Kemp. And Kemp hit the first pitch for a double to the base of the left center field wall. That's in there, 1-2. Sam Holbrook is the plate umpire in what is developing into a fine pitching duel. Sam's been in the league for almost 11 years out of Kentucky. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Matt scored the run. 1-0 Dodgers. Bottom of the 4th. So Matt's still up there battling 3-2. And looking at Capuano's numbers, 24 walks, 77 strikeouts coming in. Tried to get the corner, couldn't do it. Maybe even pitching around him. So Matt, the leadoff walk. But of course, if you walk Matt Kemp, you're liable to be giving up, in a sense, an extra base hit. Because with Matt Kemp at first, he has stolen 22 out of 25. However, and remember we told you it is a big however, Capuano has maybe the best move to first. They'll be watching this battle for sure. Kemp held on by Duda. 1-0 Dodgers, 4th inning. And here's Uribe, who grounded out to Turner, the second baseman, in the 2nd inning. And ball 1. So this is one of the great parts of Major League Baseball. You have a very knowledgeable, a very, very successful base stealer, and a fellow with as good a move to first as they have in the league. 1 ball and no strikes. That's that great changeup. It appears to die in exhaustion on the way to home plate. 1-1 the count. Chris will tell you he really learned how to pitch following Tommy John surgery. Up until then, he described himself basically more of a thrower. 1 ball, 1 strike. That might be just a showcase. That wasn't his best move. He gave Kemp the commercial move, trying to sell him on it. But he got a better one than that. He's a very bright fella. A couple of years ago, he was learning to speak Japanese so he could communicate with his fellow pitcher, Tomo Oka. And then he wanted to learn Spanish so he could speak with his Hispanic teammates. So very bright. There goes Kemp. And it's a line drive base hit into right field. Scooping it is Beltran. The throw is cut off at short. And the Dodgers are at first and third. Nobody out. So Juan Uribe, who has to be full of beans, finally getting back in the lineup. And a line drive single to right with Kemp going. And Aaron Miles coming up. Fastball up, and Uribe knew what to do with it. Beltran going after Kemp, but no chance. though Tejada cut it off. So first and third, nobody out. Dodgers lead 1-0. And the batter is Aaron Miles, who struck out on 3 pitches in the second inning. And Capuano really made it look easy striking him out. And Miles had only struck out 24 times all year. So let's see about this rematch. Popped up off first. Duda in foul ground, coming for help, and it is the second baseman Turner behind him, but Duda made the play and the runners hold. So Miles fouls out to Lucas Duda, the first baseman, and the batter will be James Loney. So Miles frustrated. He couldn't pick up Kemp, and he can't advance the runners here as Duda takes it away from Turner. Now Loney. Loney with 2 out and a runner at third had a no-ball 2-strike count and promptly single to left field to give the Dodgers the 1-0 lead. Left-handers hitting .230 against Capuano. Fouled away. For Uribe over there at first, he has 1 precious solitary stolen base. The only thing you think about, if Uribe's going, that would turn Kemp loose if they decide some kind of a delayed double steal or even hit and run. So Kemp is at the ready at third, and Uribe looking across the diamond at Tim Wallach. Oh, 0-1. Fastball, base hit to left center. In comes Kemp, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. So Capuano is having a bad time against James Loney. Coming into the game, Loney was 0 for 1 against him, and now he's 2 for 2 and 2 RBI. So the battery of Kemp and Loney. Kemp gets on, Loney knocks him in. Still only 1 out. Uribe now at second, Loney at first, and the batter is A.J. Ellis. Ellis singled to center in the second inning, so A.J. 1 for 1. And ball 1. One ball and no strikes. And that's a strike. One knock that Capuano had on him when he was with Milwaukee, and it was Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, who said he's been famous for overworking. And among other things, not only working hard, he took up yoga. Check, that's a strike. 1-2 the count. For Chris, recovering from Tommy John surgery, his wife deferred acceptance into Duke's doctorate of physical therapy program while he continues his baseball career. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Signed a 1-year deal with the Mets this year. In the dirt. Nice save by Paulino and a new ball put in play. Capuano has given up a walk and 2 singles and a run. 2-2 the count to A.J. Ellis with De La Rosa on deck. And now Paulino gone out and the shortstop Tejada coming in. And they'll have a little bit of a meeting. With A.J. Ellis up there and 1 away, no doubt Paulino, Terry Collins, and the others on the infield are wondering about a play. Terry Collins has a lot of Dodger in him. Terry managed in the Dodger system as a player. They once described him as a shortstop with more heart than ability. Well, he was a player coach at Albuquerque. He started managing in the Dodger organization in Lodi, at Vero Beach, San Antonio, and Albuquerque. So there's a lot of blue running through the veins of Terry Collins, but not now. Ball 3. So now you're really starting to wonder about a play. As Ellis stands at the plate, he hasn't played a lot. He's grounded into one double play, and you have De La Rosa on deck. 3-2. Runners go. Check swing. Runners move along. For a moment there, you weren't sure whether A.J. had gotten a foul tip or not. So Ellis strikes out. Dodgers wind up with a double steal, and the batter now will be Ruby De La Rosa.
Pitcher number 50, Ruby De La Rosa.
So Uribe is credited with a steal of third. Loney is credited with a steal of second. And with 2 out, De La Rosa at the plate. Dodgers lead 2-0 in the 4th. And ball 1. De La Rosa, obviously a pretty fair hitter, 3 for 6 coming into the game, and he grounded out to first baseman Duda back in the 2nd inning. 1-0. Ground ball to third. Up with it there is Daniel Murphy, and that'll be that. However, the Dodgers put together a couple of hits and a walk and pick up a run. Matt Kemp been on base twice, scored twice, and the Dodgers lead 2-0. Kemp doubled in the 2nd inning. Loney singled him home. Kemp walked in the 4th inning, and Loney singled him home. So with that combination, the Dodgers lead 2-0 as we go to the 5th inning. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Dodgers. No runs, no hits for the Mets. They've had 1 base runner, and that was Carlos Beltran, who walked with 2 out in the 4th. The Mets have not had a runner get to second base. So Jason Bay with a little 6-game hitting streak. He'll be followed by Lucas Duda and then Ron Paulino. Bay, a Canadian. Breaking ball for ball 1. Jason Bay is from a little town called Trail as he checks in against Ruby De La Rosa. Trail, British Columbia. Little foul, out of play. It's amazing how some players really come out of virtual obscurity and make it to the big leagues. When he was drafted by the Montreal Expos out of Gonzaga University, he was the 645th player selected. 645. One thing he's done, hitting .247, 4 home runs, 23 RBIs, and he stole third base twice already this year. Check swing foul. Last year, Bay really got hurt, crashing into the wall here. Had a lot of headaches. One thing, he got a headache when he was a little kid. He was on a Little League World Series team. That was back in 1990. The Trail British Columbia team lost to Taiwan. Lost wouldn't really be a good word. They lost 20-1. All three. Jason was lucky his dad was his youth baseball coach. At a very early age, I think Jason said he was about 11. He dropped a fly ball and pouted, and his father pulled him right out of the game. Strikeout number 4 for Ruby De La Rosa. One away, and Lucas Duda coming up. At first glance, you hear the name Duda and you think, oh boy, I'll bet you they really would have some fun with that name. But then you look at him and he is 6'4" and 240, and you lose the thought immediately. Camptown races, Duda. 2-0 the count. Lucas has changed his style a little bit as he drives one to left center, slicing. Oh, it's a room service drive and caught. Gwynn couldn't get to it, so it came to him. And we have 2 down in the 5th inning.
Catcher, number 9, Ronnie Paulino.
Ronnie Paulino coming up. Paulino in December of last year signed a 1-year deal. He arrived in the Mets spring training camp after a delay. He had visa problems. He's from the Dominican Republic. Cracked bat, it sounded like. Ground ball to Uribe. That'll be that. So another 1-2-3 inning. The only man on base for the Mets, Beltran, a walk in the 4th inning, and it's 2-0 Dodgers. 5 Bubba Burger, available in your grocer's freezer. Remember, you'll never bite a burger better than a Bubba Burger. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 in favor of the Dodgers. The firm of Kemp and Loney has its chairman of the board right now in Ruby De La Rosa, who has gone through 5 innings without allowing a hit. He's allowed just 1 base runner, and that would be the walk to Carlos Beltran with 2 out in the 4th inning. And in his 5 innings, he's only made 51 pitches. Tony Gwynn, Rafael Furcal, and Andre Ethier now against Chris Capuano. Gwynn tried to drag a bunt for a base hit, but Big Duda got it, and then he grounded out. Well, Tony 0 for 2, hitting .238. 12 runs batted in. And ball 1. So there was a time earlier in the game where Capuano was 12 for 12 in getting the first pitch. And then he was burned by Kemp hitting the first pitch for a double, and he hasn't been quite first pitch conscious since then. Strike 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. That's in there. We told you that Capuano is a bright young man out there on the mound. He graduated from Duke University with an economics degree. Finished that and got his degree about 1999 right into 2000. 1-2. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Little ground ball, foul. Davey Lopes had fielded so many ground balls fair. Garvey, Lopes, Russell, and Say. Their names certainly in Dodger history are like the Cubs, Tinkers to Evers to Chance. 2-2. And golf to right field on the dead run is Beltran, and a bounce against the bullpen gate. Gwynn into second base with a long double to right. So for Capuano, he's being burned by 3 left-handed at-bats. Loney is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs, and now Gwynn opens up the 5th inning with a double to right. You have a minute to answer a question? Okay, here it is. Today, the 72nd anniversary of Lou Gehrig Day. Now, who's the only other first baseman to play 1,500 games for the Yankees? 1,500. I will give you the answer in a little while. Here's for call, grounded out, struck out, shows bunt, and ball 1. Dodgers 2 runs, 6 hits. The Mets, no runs, no hits. The Mets are such a 500 team. They're 8-8 against Western Division teams, and they're 15-15 in their Eastern Division rivalries. Full swing and a pop fly. So the Dodgers take the bunt off, and the changeup really fools for call. As we said, that changeup that Capuano has, it is a dandy. So Rafael pops it up. Gwynn with nowhere to go. And now another left-hand hitter trying to plague him. Struck out and grounded out, Andre Ethier. Don't forget, you'll have the final say. Vote for Andre Ethier as he tries to make the All-Star team. Go to Dodgers.com, cast your vote. You can do it between now and Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. That would be 1 o'clock here. And going to third and then stopping is Gwynn. he took off, jammed on the brakes. If nothing else, that was a good fake, and it would open up a hole on any infield. Gwynn, by the way, has stolen 10 out of 12, but he certainly can't be taken for granted. 0-1 to Andre Ethier. 2-0 Dodgers. 1 out. 5th inning, and Matt Kemp on deck. Ground ball fielded by Duca. Takes it to the bag. So Duda has handled everything hit his way. Gwynn is at third, and here comes Kemp as Ethier goes 0 for 3.
Dodger center fielder number 27, Matt Kemp.
Well, Terry Collins, he has to make a decision now. You want to face Kemp with a runner at third and 2 out? Nope. Give him 4. So Capuano will walk Kemp, and in a minute, Juan Uribe. We were talking about possible base stealing by the Dodgers, and Uribe was part of the stolen bases with Loney back in the 4th inning. Coming into this game, would-be base stealers have attempted only 33 steals against Capuano in his career. I mean, we're going back to 2003, and just 17 of 33 made it. And meanwhile, remember we were talking about his great move. Capuano has picked off 39 runners. So the Dodgers were fortunate to get away with the double steal in the 4th inning. And now Kemp, of course, with Uribe coming up, and Matt might have ideas of trying to steal on him.
Number 5, Juan Uribe.
Uribe grounded to the right side to Turner and then single to right. So Uribe has gone the other way against the left-hander. 2-0 Dodgers, bottom of the 5th inning. Uribe hitting .208. First and third, and they're rabbits. Gwynn at third, Kemp at first. Uribe, a comebacker. Nice play by Capuano. Otherwise, that's into center field. So no runs, 1 hit, 2 left, and at the end of 5, 2-0 Dodgers. I can remember it like yesterday. Don Zimmer had fouled a ball off his big toe, tried to play on it. They cut a hole in the spiked shoe, but he couldn't do it. So the Dodgers called up a 26-year-old so-called weak-hitting shortstop named Maury Wills, and history began to be written in his name. Let's go back to this one. Two to nothing Dodgers. And ball one. Maury Wills in 1959 helped the Dodgers to a World's Championship after they had finished 7th the year before. Maury won 6 consecutive stolen base crowns. In 1962 he was the MVP. He had over 200 hits and batted .299. Yep, Maury Wills, another great name in Dodger history, and it all began on this day in 1959. We won't tell Ruby De La Rosa as he works in the 6th inning on a no-hitter. But this is the 53rd time a pitcher has gone 5 with a no-hitter this year. Only 20 of the 53 were still intact through 6 innings. 2 pitchers did finish with a no-hitter. Francisco Liriano of Minnesota, Justin Verlander of Detroit. Boy, that foul ball, that knocked the bat right out of Capuano's hands. Nowhere to hide when you're in that on-deck circle. It's so close. Tejada fly to right field. Take another look. He went after a pitch outside. Wow. Well, Capuano's okay. 2-2. Another foul ball out of play. And then there was the night in San Diego when Steve Yeager was on deck and a broken bat pierced his neck. But the rule is the pitcher must be on deck. And that's going to be into left field. So that's it. 53 times a pitcher has gone 5 innings with a no-hitter, and only 20 were still intact at the end of 6. So Ruby, welcome to the club. The Tejada gets the base hit, and the batter will be Capuano. Dodgers look bunt, even though the Mets are down by 2. Chris Show's bunt. Pulled it back, ball 1. Tejada does not have a stolen base. Everybody looks at Chip Hale coaching at third. Chip played for the Dodgers back in 1997. And over at first, talking about famous names, the bunt in the air, foul. Diving try by Ellis, but he couldn't do it. Coaching at first for the New York Mets. Shades of 1986. Mookie Wilson. And the ground ball over first. And Bill Buckner, etc., etc. Just 25 years ago. Like yesterday afternoon, right? 1-1 at Capuano. 2-0 Dodgers, 6th inning. And the bunt is down. The play has to go to first. So Tejada gets to second on the sacrifice. They'll leave it up to Pagan and Turner. You know, the Coca-Cola Value Pack is available for select Wednesday and Sunday Dodger home games. This ultimate sports value includes 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, and 4 Cokes. And now for all applicable games in July, you'll also receive a Dodger cooler bag with every ticket, all starting at $20 a seat. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/specials or call 866-DODGERS. Pagan, soft line drive to Miles. Fly to left, 0 for 2, hitting .248. Fouled away. For Angel He loved boxing growing up in Puerto Rico. He used to work out. He loved to imitate Felix Trinidad. And he figures, if nothing else, boxing kept him in such great shape. It's helped him in baseball. Oh, nice save by Ellis. That's easily a wild pitch. 1-1. Nice play by A.J. Angel's mother was a softball player, so she knew a lot about baseball, and she coached his youth team when he was 5 years old. 1-1. Foul back. And then, of course, he told you, admittedly, it's not much of a note, but nevertheless, Angel Pagan is the first player ever to hit his first 2 major league home runs on his birthday when he was playing for the Cubs, July 2nd, 2006. One and two. 2-2. The old question to the ball players, if you weren't a ball player, what would you be doing? Angel said, I'd like to be a doctor. My dad studied medicine but never finished, and I'd love to do it. He has remarkable eyesight. You talk about God's gift. He has been given tremendous eyesight. Ball 3. He has 20/13 eyesight, which means he can see at 20 feet what a person with 20/20 vision can see at 13 feet. Three and two. Pulled off the glove of a diving Loney. Here comes Tejada to score. Into second base with a slide. Safely goes Pagan. And it is 2-1 Dodgers. So the eyesight has to help play this game. Chuck Yeager. Remember that name, Chuck Yeager? Great test pilot. I believe I read somewhere he might have been blessed with the finest eyesight of any human being. Well, Angel gets one off Loney's glove. Great effort. 2-1, tying run at second base. And now Justin Turner with one out coming up. Turner grounded to third, struck out. No play. Two runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 2 hits for the Mets. There's a beach ball loose in right field, so timeout. Turner, meanwhile, has to be patient and just wait at the plate. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 2 hits for the Mets. Mets claim Turner off waivers from the Orioles. He went to Cal State Fullerton, and he was born in Long Beach. Justin Turner. 1 ball and no strikes. So Ruby De La Rosa, sailing along, had made only 51 pitches in 5 innings. Now he's up to 68. This will be number 69. Fouled away. 1-1. Justin had the nickname Red as a kid growing up. A very good bunter. Originally signed by the Reds 5 years ago out of Cal State Fullerton. One and 1. And a big bouncer to third. Uribe holds the runner back. So Turner unable to advance Pagan, and the batter will be Carlos Beltran. We talked about Cal State Fullerton. He was the bat boy for Cal State Fullerton as a little kid. So with 2 out, here is Beltran. Carlos struck out and walked. But remember the numbers we gave you at the start of the game? Beltran is a totally different hitter with runners on base. Ball 1. Beltran is hitting .312 with runners on. And he's got the tying run out there. 2 out. Check swing foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Beltran from Manatí in Puerto Rico. 34 years old. He and Barry Bonds are the only major leaguers to have hit 8 home runs in one postseason. Carlos did it in 2004 for Houston. Barry in 2002 with the Giants. Crack bat and an extra base hit. Is he something with men on base? And by the time it's picked up by Ethier, the tying run is well across the plate. So Tejada's single was sacrificed to second. Pagan doubled off Loney's glove. Beltran doubles over first base, cracks his bat, but knocks in Pagan to tie up the game. So for Ruby De La Rosa, 1 minute sailing along with a no-hitter. And the next thing you know, he is tied up 2-2 in the 6th inning. Pulled right over the bag and down the line. So Carlos Beltran, Mr. Clutch, and an all-star. Rick Honeycutt talking to De La Rosa and Ellis. And the batter will be Daniel Murphy, left-hand hitter. Murphy hitting .301. 5 home runs, 34 runs batted in, grounded to short, grounded to second, and pulls one down the right field line. Another extra base hit. Murphy's into second base. In comes Beltran, and all of a sudden the Mets have turned it completely around and take a 3-2 lead. So you talk about losing it in a hurry. De La Rosa for 5 innings had allowed only a walk. And in the 6th inning, he's allowed 3 doubles and a single and 3 runs. So the Mets are really making Ethier work down there in the right field corner. And here's Jason Bay. Ball 1. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Matt Guerrier gets up and he'll begin to throw. Jason Bay with 2 out, trying to keep it going. Check swing for a strike. 1-1. So Ruby De La Rosa leading 2-0. Now trailing 3-2. One of our newer citizens, Jason Bay, at the plate. And fouled away. Jason Bay, July the 2nd, almost an anniversary, 2 years ago, was sworn in as a U.S. citizen at Faneuil Hall in Boston. Bay at one time with Pittsburgh. He was traded to the Red Sox in a deal that saw Boston ship Manny Ramirez here. Whoops, off the mitt. Nice save by A.J. Ellis. So Murphy at second. Look at this thing take off. Coming up, pitch number 79, which means 28 pitches in the inning. So he is laboring here. And gets him. So Jason Bay strikes out. 5 strikeouts for De La Rosa, but the Mets come battling back, and at the end of 5 1/2, lead 3-2. The 4th of July, starting, of course, with Old Glory. Then all of the young Marines carrying the huge flag out onto the field, unfolding it with great dignity and respect. The players standing with hats across their hearts, and the Marines celebrating, saluting. It was a wonderful moment. Nothing like, in some ways, I guess, celebrating the 4th of July at a ball game. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Mets are doing the celebrating right now. For young Ruby De La Rosa, after 5 hitless innings, he allowed 4 hits in a span of 6 batters. The 3 doubles coming in a span of 8 pitches. He gave up 28 pitches in the inning, 79 in the game, and all of a sudden he finds himself down 3-2. Meanwhile, Capuano working on Miles. Miles, frustrated, came up with a runner at third and 1 out and struck out in the 2nd inning. Came up with 2 on and popped up in the 4th. 2-0 the count. I think another note we gave you at the very start of the game is the fact that Capuano really labors after the 6th inning. A long drive, barely reaches up and hits the wall, but makes the catch. Boy, he had to be thinking about last year when he turned on that ball. So a long out and 1 down in the 6th. Nice play by Jason Bay. For Aaron Miles, he had a home run in Minnesota. That's his only home run. He doesn't figure to hit many. And Bay completely concentrating on the ball, even though he knew there could be a headache at the other end of it. Nice play by Jason. 1 away. So Miles, so near and yet so far. Jamie Carroll commiserating with him. Carroll apparently looks like he's ready to bat for De La Rosa. 0-1 to Loney. Twice James single to left field, each time driving in a run. A left-hander and a right-hander in the Mets bullpen, Burdack and Carrasco. Carrasco's the right-hander. As we said, once Capuano gets to the 6th inning, no matter the temperature, he's on very thin ice. 0-2. Came in 7-7, 2-3 lifetime. 1-2, so he's not going to be burned this time on an 0-2 hittable pitch. He's made 83 pitches. For Capuano, he's had 3 starts where he made less than 80 pitches. His high, only 105. There's the change. Yep, he swung. Greg Gibson calling strike 3. Game just hangs his head. Badly fooled on that great change. Remember the trivia question? Had to do with the great Lou Gehrig, the Iron Horse. This is the 72nd anniversary of Lou Gehrig Day. Who's the only other first baseman to play 1,500 games for the Yankees? Sure, Don Mattingly, 1,785. Foul ball out of play, 0-1. Talking about another great Yankee, you know, Derek Jeter returned to the Yankee lineup tonight in Cleveland. Derek is 6 hits shy of 3,000, but he went 0 for 4 in Cleveland's victory. High fly ball to right center and deep. Beltran and Pagan. Beltran. So the Dodgers 2 long fly balls, and of course for Capuano, who is usually hanging on right about now, Bay and Beltran saved him, and he still leads 3-2.
Shout out to the LA Dodgers and to my wife and kids back home. Miss you guys.
Just want to say hi to all my friends and family in LA and other places, and have 4th of July. Go Dodgers!
Some of the true heroes sending their warmest wishes back here. 7th inning, 3-2 Mets, and we have many a hero in the stands. And we salute them all. Lucas Duda. De La Rosa, by the way, leads off in the bottom of the 7th inning. 0-1. Duda fly to center, fly to left. 0-2. I'm sure Lucas, having gone to school at USC, there's a few Trojans here. He was at SC for 3 years. 0-2. For De La Rosa, he went from 51 to 79 pitches. Now he's up to 82. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fouled away. So Ruby De La Rosa, 22 years old, from Santo Domingo. His first tryout camp, no one looked at him. He was 5'7" and no weight. Oh, nice pick there by Foucault. Hello. He made that look so easy. 1 away. Worth another look. So with 1 down in the 7th inning, Ronnie Paulino coming up. By the way, a moment ago we were talking about Derek Jeter and the Yankees in Cleveland. Cleveland had a no-hitter going for 6 innings. Josh Tomlin. And it brought up the point that the Yankees have not been no-hitted by a starting pitcher going the distance since 1958. And that would be the knuckleballer Hoyt Wilhelm. The Yankees were no-hitted in 2003, but the Astros used 6 pitchers to do it. 1-1. And a drive to the gap, but it's slicing, and there's Ethier at the other end of it. 2 down. Ruben Tejada started all of De La Rosa's troubles in the 6th inning when the boy from Panama got a base hit against the boy from the Dominican Republic, and before the dust settled, the Mets had 4 hits and 3 runs and lead 3-2. Tejada, no relation to Miguel. Mets 3 runs, 4 hits. Dodgers 2 runs, 6 hits. Two 2-0. Of course, talking about youth, he's only 22. So 2 22-year-olds battling it out. Ruben Tejada and Ruby De La Rosa. In fact, actually, Tejada's technically 21. He'll be 22 in September. Three and 1. And that's going to be hit to center. Kemp is going to have to play it on a bounce. So Tejada is 2 for 3. And an obviously tiring Capuano will give way to a pinch hitter, Willie Harris. So for Chris, he follows his book. He goes 6. He's basically a 6-inning pitcher. You might not like to hear that, but it's a fact right now. But of course, when you realize that he had Tommy John surgery, he had to give up a lot. So Willie Harris, boy out of Cairo, Georgia. What does Cairo, Georgia mean? Well, to baseball people, Cairo is the birthplace of Jackie Robinson. Right. 0-1. Willie Harris scored the game's only run for the White Sox in the World Series clinching win over the Astros in the 2005 World Series. And when he came home to Cairo, he couldn't believe it. I mean, they had a huge parade in his honor. He rode on a big fire engine. There was another fire engine with all of his high school teammates on it. It was Willie Harris Day in Cairo, Georgia. 1-1. 1-2. They had the parade November the 4th. And November the 4th is now known as Willie Harris Day in Cairo. The high school baseball field where Willie played is now Jackie Robinson Field. The main drag in town is now Jackie Robinson Memorial. 2-2. Willie is 5'9", about 175 pounds. Went to Kennesaw State University. Naturally in Georgia. 2-2. Ball 3. Did Jackie Robinson ever come back to Cairo? Yeah, he did. When Jackie came back in 1949, he was a star of the Dodgers. First player to break the color line. In fact, half of Cairo left to go to Atlanta to see Jackie play. Fly ball to left center. Kemp has a bead on it all the way. So no parade for Willie Harris. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. And at the end of 6.5, it's 3-2 in favor of the Mets. And now, in special recognition of the military, USAA now presents the singing of God Bless America.
Accompanied by Nancy B. and performed today by 2nd Class Petty Officer Mike Gallagher.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Mike Gallagher.
happy 4th of July. Thank you for going out there and sacrificing so much for us. You do a lot. You keep us safe here, and especially you, Mike Rush, with the Rangers in Afghanistan. Thanks a lot.
And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, full of thanks for all those who are doing so much for us. Jamie Carroll will be facing Bobby Parnell. Bobby's out of Salisbury, North Carolina, and went to school at Charleston Southern University. Off the plate to Carroll, 1 ball and no strikes. Jamie hitting .295. He has 8 runs batted in. Facing Parnell, who has a record of 2-1. And ball 2. By the way, Chris Capuano in 15 starts this year has gotten to the 100 pitch mark 4 times. His high 106 pitches, and he left tonight after 87 pitches. One thing for Terry Collins, he has to be a little reluctant to go to his bullpen with men on base. I'll tell you why. At least he starts the inning with Bobby Parnell. Ground ball. That's Justin Turner. 1 away. The bullpen for the Mets, they're 15th in lowest relief wins. They are 3rd high of inherited runners, and they're 4th with inherited runners scoring. So if Collins can help it, he'll use the bullpen, but not with men on base if he can help it. And Parnell gets their first out. De La Rosa, who is finished for the night, made 98 pitches, but he had a breeze for 5 innings. That's going to go foul. De La Rosa had made only 51 pitches in 5 innings, and then the sky fell in on him in the 6th. So 98 for Ruby. Tony Gwynn tried to bunt for a base hit, didn't do it, grounded out, then doubled to right in the 5th inning. And the Dodgers are haunted for that, at least for the moment. In the 5th inning, Dodgers were leading 2-0. Gwynn opened up the 5th inning with a double, and Mattingly once again had his hitters let him down. For a call, Ethier, they walked Kemp, and Uribe made the last out. And now the inability of getting Gwynn home from 3rd in the 5th inning is sticking out like that proverbial sore thumb. Dodgers trail 3-2. 2-1. Fastball. As usual, the Dodgers struggling with runners in scoring position. The Mets are 3 out of 4, hitting .750. The Dodgers, a very meek 2 for 11, a 182 batting average. So it's 3-2 Mets, 7th inning, 1 out, 2-2. Got him. Fastball at the knees. Tony knew it and walks away. 2 out, 7th inning. You know, we've gone from 16 to the final 2 great moments in Major League Baseball All-Star Game history. You can go to MLB.com/moments and vote for your favorite moment. Tune in to the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. That'll be Tuesday, July 12th, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Find out who won. And here's Furcal turning around to hit left-handed. Struck out, grounded out, popped up, 0 for 3. One ball and no strikes. Bobby Parnell, 6'3", about 185 pounds. He'll be 27 in September. Growing up in North Carolina, the Braves, the Atlanta Braves, are always on TV, and he was always watching. He would study, and they're great to study, Greg Maddux and John Smoltz. He said there isn't one of them that I didn't idolize any more than anyone else. Two and one. Fastball sprayed foul. For Bobby Parnell, basically what you'd call a sinker slider pitcher. He has a changeup and a pretty good splitter as well. 2-2. Got him on the corner. So he strikes out Gwynn on the inside corner, strikes out for a call on the outside corner, and that'll be that. Bobby Parnell sets him down, and at the end of 7, 3-2 Mets. To MLB.TV today. See every Dodger game live or on demand on your computer and your favorite mobile devices. Visit Dodgers.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Scott Elbert coming out of the Dodger bullpen to pick up now for Ruby De La Rosa, who made 98 pitches. And Elbert getting ready to face the top of the order. That means Pagan, Turner, and Beltran. Pagan batting .251, 2 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Meanwhile, Elbert's in his 19th game with a record of 0-1. Ball 1. Elbert, 12 strikeouts, 6 walks. One ball and no strikes. Pagan is lined out, flied out, doubled, and look out, he's at it again. Gwynn playing it coming off the wall, and into second is Angel Pagan with a double to left. For Pagan with 2 doubles tonight, he now has 10. The first double was down the right field line. Then he turns around and doubles into the left field corner. Now Justin Turner with Carlos Beltran to follow. First thing you want to know about Turner, does he bunt? He has 1 sacrifice. Dodgers look bunt. Loney is up. Uribe is in. And did that hit him? Yep. Around to bunt. He's hit by the pitch and not ready to get up. Might have twisted the knee or the ankle, not sure. And the pitch got him just above the ankle. So Justin Turner around to bunt, hit by the pitch. Now the Mets have first and second and nobody out. They certainly want to make sure their second baseman is healthy enough to continue, though they're testing him as he slowly walks up the first baseline. For Scott Elbert to hit a batter, that would be the first batter that he has hit this year. So Turner and Pagan are out on the lines. Nobody out, 8th inning. Mets 3, Dodgers 2. The first almost 60 games this year, the Mets were averaging about 4 runs a game. But the last 24, 25 games, they're averaging better than 5. They've increased batting by about, well, from 256 to 282. So they've picked up a lot. So here is Carlos Beltran. Matt Guerrier is up in the Dodger bullpen. And a strike. Beltran came up, and we had already told you that he's a much better hitter with men on base, and he promptly doubled in Pagan. With runners in scoring position this year, Carlos, the All-Star, is hitting .345. .34-year-old Carlos Beltran, All-Star 6 times. Jose Reyes, All-Star 4 times. Matt Kemp, All-Star once. Clayton Kershaw, All-Star once. No balls, 1 strike. Big chopper. Uribe goes back to second. The bag was almost missed, but Miles stayed with it. Remember, Miles missed first base in Anaheim. So they get the force play. That puts runners at first and third. Here's Miles on the bag, juggled, and came off the bag just holding on to the ball. It looks like he has it easy, and then it's not there. You know, even though he was standing on the bag, the umpires watching carefully. If they felt he was not in possession, it could have been a safe play. But he just did hold on. So here's Daniel Murphy. Ball 1. First and third, 1 out in the 8th. Mets lead 3-2. Pagan at third, Beltran at first. Beltran 3 for 3 in stolen bases. A little ground foul outside of third down the line. The Dodgers and Mets in a tough 1-run game. The Mets are 10 and 13 in 1-run games, but they're break even on the road. The Dodgers are 10 and 11, and they're in direct opposite. They're 8 and 3 in 1-run games at home, 2 and 8 in 1-run games on the road. One out, 3 runs, 6 hits for the Mets. Dodgers 2 runs, 6 hits. That was a big out to get Beltran with first and second and nobody out. Infield back in double play depth. Check swing, but it's going to cost him a strike. 1 and 2 to Daniel Murphy. Murphy's been a very hot hitter coming into the game. Since the last week in May, he's really been hacking. Coming into this game, he was hitting .360 with runners in scoring position, and he doubled in a run in the 6th. And a high fly ball into shallow left. Here comes Quinn. No way anybody can move. Pagan holding at third. So Murphy holding his head as he goes back to the dugout. A picture of frustration. Hold that helmet. So a little fly ball. A wasted opportunity now. Yet Beltran hit into a force play. Murphy fly to left. And here is Jason Bay. And Bay has not hit a ball out of the infield. Matt Guerrier is down in the pen. So Elbert has done his job. He took care of Beltran and Murphy. And Guerrier now will try to keep Jason Bay at bay. And we'll be back.
Coming in to pitch for the Dodgers, number 55, Matt Guerrier.
They're seeing a tough push and shove game between the Mets and Dodgers. And, of course, there'd be that great fireworks show after the game. Dodgers attendance has now gone over 1,000,006. Matt Guerrier facing Jason Bay. Bay is 0 for 3 against him in the past. Hits a looper to center. Base hit. In comes a huge run. So a little fly ball dunker to center. As they say, it'll look like a line drive in the box score. And Jason Bay's fly ball single picks up a big run. Coming home is Pagan. Stopping at second base is Beltran. And the batter now will be Lucas Duda. So Guerrier gives up the hit. Elbert charged with the run. Beltran at second is also Elbert's responsibility. And that's a strike to Lucas Duda. Fly to center, fly to left, grounded to short. Lucas hitting .231. He had 4 hits the end of June against Texas. And he's up there now with Bay and Beltran. 1-1. So look ahead when the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Andre Ethier, Matt Kemp, and Juan Uribe. And another beach ball will have to be retrieved in right field. One and 1 to Lucas. He's been busy going up and down. This is the 3rd time this year that Duda has been with the Mets. And he bangs it into left field base hit. Here comes Beltran. He will score. So the Mets pick up 2 here in the 8th and open it up a little bit. And now lead 5-2. So the hits are charged to Guerrier. But the runs, both Pagan and now Beltran, they're charged to Elbert. 5 runs, 8 hits for the Mets. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. And here's Ronnie Paulino, the big catcher, who hits a little ball to Loney. He'll have to feed his pitcher coming over, but not before the Mets post 2. And we're heading to the bottom of the 8th, 5-2 New York. To drive in 2 against left-hander Chris Papuano. However, the Dodgers a buck short against the left-hander and now are down 3, trailing 5-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Once again, they will look to the heart of the lineup, Ethier, Kemp, and Uribe. Strike. Ethier, handcuffed by the left-hander Capuano, struck out and twice grounded to first. Don't forget, you can vote for Andre Ethier to the All-Star game. Just go to Dodgers.com and put up your final vote. You have until Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. out here. 1-1 to Andre Ethier, batting .318. Now, 3 times this year, Bobby Parnell has pitched 2 innings. A little ground ball to Justin Turner. So Ethier goes 0 for 4, and we have 1 out here in the 8th. So they're asking Parnell to go 2 innings again. The Mets closer, Francisco Rodriguez. So we'll see just how far Parnell can carry the load. And there's a big one at the plate right now. Matt Kemp has doubled, walked twice, scored the Dodger 2 runs. Matt hitting .325. Right. First ball swinging in the 2nd inning after Capuano kept getting that first pitch for a strike, and Matt walked up and doubled off the base of the left center field wall. Fastball comebacker. 2 down. So Parnell has come in and retired 5 in a row, and the Dodgers have not had a hit since Tony Gwynn doubled back in the 5th inning, and they left him. And at that time, that was a huge moment. The Dodgers trailing by 1, and of course now they're really hurting as Mattingly's club is down 5-2. Juan Uribe grounded to second, single to right, part of a double steal, and hit back to the box. In the Dodger bullpen, Blake Hawksworth begins to loosen up. And that's a strike to Uribe. In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bobby Parnell trying to keep the ball low in the strike zone. He's basically what you would call a ground ball pitcher. They say a great competitor and tremendous amount of determination. 1-1. Cracked that ground ball, scooped by Tejada, and that means that Parnell has come in and retired 6 in a row for the 4th time this year, going 2 innings, and we will see about the 9th. So we know at the end of 8, 5-2 Mets. Tejada and a sacrifice by Chris Capuano. Pagan doubled off the glove of a diving Loney, and that was good for a run. 1 out later, Carlos Beltran doubled to score Pagan. That was good for another run. And then Daniel Murphy doubled for good measure to score Beltran. A 3-run inning. The Mets took a 3-2 lead. They now lead 5-2. And first ball swinging, Tejada pops it up to Uribe. And just like that, 1 away. Jason Pretty will now come out, and he will bat for Parnell. So Parnell did just what they asked. For the 4th time this year, he gave them a strong 2 innings. Jason Pretty is from Phoenix. Graduate of Prescott High School. He was originally selected by the Devil Rays, and at one time a top prospect in the Twins organization. He's an outfielder, hitting .231, 3 home runs, 13 runs batted in. 27 years old, he's 28 in October. When he was at high school at Prescott, he committed to go to Vanderbilt, but the Rays signed him. 6'1", 190. The Mets claimed him off waivers from the Twins. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off the plate, ball 3. There are those who looked at Jason Pretty and thought that he reminded them of Steve Finley. Ground ball, backhanded by the sliding Loney. Nice play, 2 down. And that will bring up Angel Pagan. Down in the bullpen with 20 saves getting ready is Francisco Rodriguez. Pagan lined out to second and flied to left, and next two at bats, a double each time, hitting .255. And a bunt foul. 0-1. So it's been Capuano bidding for the win. Good 2 solid innings from Bobby Parnell, and they will give the ball to Rodriguez. Ninth inning, 2 out, 5-2 Mets. Off the plate. Fouled off to the left out of play. If you wonder about the Dodgers coming up in the bottom of the ninth inning, they are due to send up Aaron Miles 0 for 3, James Loney 2 for 3, A.J. Ellis 1 for 3, and they'll be facing Francisco Rodriguez. 1-2. Curve ball and a fly ball to count. All right, here we go into the bottom of the ninth inning with the Mets leading the Dodgers 5-2. In the bottom of the ninth inning against Francisco Rodriguez. Frankie, you may remember, was with the Angels from 02 through 08 and had a remarkable time. Saved as many as 62 games for the Angels 3 years ago. He had 25 for the Mets last year. In the time that he's been with the Mets since 09, he has 80 saves with them. And with 20 saves so far this year, he had converted 19 straight, and he had a blown save in Atlanta. He had 2 scoreless innings against the Yankees and picked up his second win. Francisco's from Caracas in Venezuela. 6', 195, 29 years old. And a strike. And looking at Rodriguez's numbers, he is 2-2 with 16 walks, 42 strikeouts. So it's been Capuano, Parnell, and Rodriguez, De La Rosa, Elbert, and Guerrero. Fastball hit down the left field line, slicing away from Bay, and that's going to be a double for Aaron Miles, leading off the inning. So Miles comes up with his first hit. That would be hit number 7 for the Dodgers, and their first hit since Gwynn led off the 5th inning with a double. For Aaron Miles to try to get the Dodgers going in the right direction, that would be his 8th double. So Francisco Rodriguez in Caracas. He grew up in a 5-story apartment house. They say it was cracked, yellow walls, and the whole family crowded into a 2-bedroom flat with the grandparents. He was nicknamed Baby Fran. So here is Loney, 2 singles to left field against Capuano, and struck out. Fastball strike. In talking about his background, Frankie grew up so poor, he said, that he had to wear the same pair of shoes for 3 or 4 years. And he would help arrange cockfights on the streets. He'd do anything, break dance for change, anything to get something, to get a meal. 0-2. So he has come from all of that to be one of the premier relievers in the game. Paulino out to talk to him, so timeout. And 2 to count to Loney. A couple of years ago, Frankie became the first relief pitcher in baseball history. He saved 58. Then he went on to save 62. 0-2. Oh, what a pitch. That'll break your back as a hitter. You're looking for anything but the off-speed curveball, and that just froze Loney. So we have 1 out. Trent Olgen is out on deck and now making his way to the plate. So Olgen, who was the DH in Anaheim, will now bat for LA. So now you've been on deck watching Francisco Rodriguez set up Loney for that big slow curveball. And we'll see what happens with Trent Olsen. They pull up the corners. 0-1. I guess one of the oldest expressions in the world, talking about a curveball, and they say it falls off the table. And that's really the best way to describe that curveball he just threw to James Loney. 0-1. Little ground ball. Duda takes it to the bag for the 2nd out. Miles advances to 3rd. And the batter now will be Eugenio Velez. He just joined the Dodgers today. D. Gordon was sent out, and Velez will now make his first appearance as a Dodger, and a lot of people in the stadium are probably saying, who? What? Well, he was just called up. He hit .339 while he was in Albuquerque. Eugenio Velez, among other things, played with the Giants in 2009 and briefly last year. He's 6'1" and maybe 160 pounds after Thanksgiving dinner. 0-1. Velez plays in the infield. He can also play in the outfield. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. And all Matt Kemp can do is, for the moment, think about Phoenix. along with Rod Barajas and Juan Uribe. Slow and a strike. So you keep looking for Frankie to come with a fastball, and he has got the Dodger hitters really tied up. So Miles, a lonely figure at third, 2 out, 5-2 Mets. And not a good way to break in for Velez, and not a very pleasant night for the Dodgers, who have now lost 3 in a row. The Mets have beaten them 3 out of 4. Rodriguez, by the way, made 10 pitches, and they were all strikes, and he made it look like a walk in the park. So Matt Kemp can't do it alone. They walked him twice, and he scored the only 2 Dodger runs. For Terry Collins, after the years in the Dodger organization, all the years managing in the minor leagues, he returns to Dodger Stadium, and how sweet it must be for him as his ball club beats the Dodgers 5-2. Tomorrow night, it'll be KCAL 9. Hope you'll join us then if you can't make it out to the ballpark. Now, stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.